The Last Beacon. The United Nations medical ship Mercy gleamed against the backdrop of stars, its pristine white hull adorned with the ancient symbol of healing, a red cross visible from light years away. At 2 kilometers long, the vessel represented humanity's commitment to providing medical care across the galaxy, carrying hope to those beyond Earth's reach. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge's observation window, her dark eyes reflecting distant starlight. 20 years of medical service had earned her every silver strand in her hair, each one a testament to countless lives saved. The Mercy had been her home for the past 5 years, leading missions that had treated over 50,000 patients from 30 different species. "Captain, we're receiving an emergency transmission," Lieutenant Rivera announced, his hands dancing across the holographic interface. "It's from the Centauri mining outpost on Proxima IV. They're reporting multiple casualties from a plasma reactor breach." Chen didn't hesitate. "Alert Dr. Patel and her trauma teams." "How many injured?" "Initial reports indicate 73 casualties, 28 critical. Plot a course, maximum safe speed, and contact their administrative AI. I want to know their species composition and any relevant medical restrictions before we arrive." The Mercy's massive engines hummed to life, pushing the hospital ship through the void. In the medical preparation bay, Dr. Aisha Patel reviewed the incoming patient data on her neural interface. After 15 years treating alien physiology, she had learned that every species had its own unique way of breaking and healing. "Teams 3 through 7, prepare for triage," she announced over the medical channel. "We're looking at plasma burns across multiple species. Review your xenobiology protocols and prep the regeneration chambers." The ship's corridors bustled with purposeful activity as medical staff prepared for their incoming patients. Robotic assistants moved efficiently between storage units, loading supplies onto hovering medical carts. The ship's eye, Florence, coordinated everything with quiet precision. "ETA to Proxima IV is 47 minutes, Florence announced throughout the ship. "Current casualty list includes 12 Regulians, 27 humans, and 34 Centaurians." In the xenobiology lab, Dr. Marcus Wong calibrated the tissue regenerators for multiple species. Each adjustment could mean the difference between life and death. The Mercy carried equipment designed to heal any known spacefaring race, but plasma burns were tricky. They affected each species differently. The ship was approaching the mining outpost when everything changed. "Captain," Rivera's voice carried an edge she'd never heard before. "3 unidentified vessels just dropped out of FTL. They're on an intercept course." Chen frowned. The Mercy's position was always broadcast, along with its status as a medical vessel. Any approaching ships should have identified themselves immediately. "Open a channel." The first shot struck before she could finish the sentence. The Mercy shuddered as energy weapons impacted its hull. The ship had minimal shielding, enough to protect against space debris and solar radiation, but nothing meant for combat. They were a hospital ship. They weren't supposed to need more. "All hands, secure for impact." Chen's voice rang through the ship. "Medical teams, protect your patients. This is not a drill." In the trauma center, Dr. Patel and her team rushed to secure their existing patients. The lights flickered as another blast rocked the ship. Through the viewport, she could see their attackers, sleek, predatory vessels painted a deep purple that seemed to absorb starlight. "This is Captain Chen of the UNS Mercy," she broadcast on all frequencies. "We are a medical vessel protected under the Galactic Concordat. We have patients aboard. Cease your attack immediately." The response came in heavily accented Standard Galactic. "We know exactly what you are. Your medical supplies will fetch excellent prices. Prepare to be boarded." Pirates. They were being attacked by pirates who saw the hospital ship as an easy target. The Mercy's corridors, usually filled with the quiet efficiency of medical work, now echoed with alerts and running feet as the crew tried to protect their patients. The ship's minimal security team, armed only with stun batons for handling delirious patients, took up positions at critical junctions. The first boarding party breached the hull near the pharmaceutical storage. They were tall, their bodies covered in chitinous purple-black armor that seemed to flow like liquid. They showed no mercy, using neural disruptors on anyone who stood in their way. In the intensive care unit, nurses and doctors formed human barriers in front of their critical patients. Dr. Paddle stood at the main entrance, holding only a medical scanner. "You'll have to go through me to reach." "Patience," she said firmly as the first pirate appeared in the doorway. The alien's face was hidden behind an opaque helmet, but its laugh needed no translation. A harsh sound like grinding metal. It raised its weapon. Captain Chen watched in horror from the bridge as her security feeds showed her crew being cut down while protecting their patients. The pirates were methodically working their way through the ship, taking anything valuable, killing anyone who resisted. Her hand moved to the quantum emergency beacon, the one that would send a message straight to Earth Command. In 300 years of space travel, no one had ever dared to attack a human hospital ship. This wasn't just an attack on the Mercy. It was an attack on everything humanity stood for. She pressed the beacon. The message that would change the galaxy forever began its journey to Earth. UMS Mercy under attack. Casualties confirmed. Medical personnel and patients targeted. They're killing our doctors. God help them when Earth finds out. Breaking point. The quantum beacon's message reached Earth at 3:47 hours Universal Time. In the United Nations Space Command Center beneath Geneva, Switzerland, Commander Elena Volkov stared at her display in disbelief. Her coffee cup slipped from nerveless fingers, shattering on the floor as the message repeated itself. UNS Mercy under attack. Casualties confirmed. Medical personnel and patients targeted. They're killing our doctors. For several heartbeats, the only sound in the monitoring station was the soft hum of quantum computers. Then Volkov's training kicked in. Her fingers flew across the haptic interface, authentication codes streaming from her neural implant. This is a Class 0 emergency. Wake them all. Now. Deep beneath the Himalayas, in a chamber that didn't officially exist, Admiral James Harper was already reviewing the Mercy's final transmissions. The footage showed medical staff being gunned down while protecting patients, pirates stealing medicines meant for the sick, and hospital beds being overturned in their rampage. "How many?" he asked, his voice quiet. Colonel Sarah Martinez, his intelligence chief, consulted her data feed. Initial estimates suggest 412 medical personnel aboard, 273 patients from 17 different species. Current status unknown. Harper had served in Earth's hidden fleet for 30 years. He'd watched humanity play the role of peaceful explorers and healers, all while maintaining a military force in secret, not out of deception, but out of hope. Hope that they'd never needed. That hope died today. "Begin the Nightingale Protocol," he ordered. Across the solar system, hidden bases began to stir. In the asteroid belt, massive hangar doors opened for the first time in decades. Beneath the ice of Europa, fusion reactors powered up. On Mars, underground factories that had been producing weapons and ships in secret started launching their creations into space. In orbit around Saturn, the largest of humanity's hidden shipyards revealed itself. The UNDF Retribution, nearly 3 kilometers of advanced weapons and armor, led a fleet of 30 warships into the light. Each vessel bore the name of a hospital ship from humanity's history. Comfort, solace, hope, now transformed into instruments of war. The UN Security Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from every human world and colony watched in stunned silence as the attack footage played. There were no political debates, no jurisdictional arguments. The vote was unanimous. "Send the message," the Secretary General ordered. Across every frequency, in every known language, humanity broadcast its response to the galaxy. To the species responsible for attacking the UNS Mercy, you have violated the most sacred covenant of civilized space. You didn't just attack a ship. You didn't just attack humans. You attacked healers. You attacked the sick and wounded. You attacked hope itself. Prepare to learn why humanity chose peace not from weakness, but from mercy. In the Jovian shipyards, Admiral Harper stood before the assembled fleet commanders. The holographic displays showed the gathering armada. Over 200 ships, the largest military force humanity had ever revealed. For 3 centuries, he began, we have explored the stars as healers and traders. We built hospital ships instead of battleships. We offered aid to any who needed it. Today, someone mistook that choice for weakness. Today, they learn why we chose peace. The fleet commanders, men and women who had trained in secret for decades, listened in grim silence. They all knew the stakes. This wasn't just about vengeance for the mercy. This was about protecting everything humanity stood for. Our hospital ships carry no weapons, Harper continued. They don't need to. Because they carry something far more powerful. They carry us. Every doctor killed, every patient threatened, will be answered for. We are humanity. We chose to be healers. Now they will learn why we never needed to be warriors. In orbit around Mars, the UNDF Retribution's quantum drives powered up. Its hull bore a new symbol, the ancient Red Cross of healing, transformed into a sword. Captain Maya Singh stood on her bridge, watching as the fleet formed up around her ship. All vessels report ready, Captain, her XO announced. Singh nodded. Like everyone in the hidden fleet, she had trained for years while maintaining the facade of a civilian life. She had watched humanity's hospital ships venture into the unknown, knowing she might one day be called to protect them. That day had come. Send word to all ships, she ordered. We are the guardians they never knew they had. We are the sword that protects the healers, and we are coming. The fleet disappeared into quantum space, leaving behind a solar system transformed. Humanity's mask of peace had been torn away, not by choice, but by necessity. The galaxy was about to learn why attacking the human hospital ship was the last mistake anyone would ever make. Swift justice. The UNS Mercy drifted in space, its once pristine white hull now scared by weapons fire. Inside, the pirates worked methodically, stripping the hospital ship of everything valuable. They had already filled 2 cargo holds with advanced medical equipment and rare medicines, leaving dying patients in their wake. Their leader, Commander Vexkar of the Crimson Scythe, stood on the Mercy's bridge, his chidness armor reflecting the emergency lights. How much longer? He demanded. Another hour to strip the remaining medical bays, his subordinate reported. The human medicines alone will fetch millions on the black market. Vexkar's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. Attacking a hospital ship had been a risk, but humans were known for their advanced medical technology and their weakness. Their ships carried no weapons, their crews offered no resistance. It had been almost too easy. The tactical officer's sudden cry shattered his satisfaction. Multiple quantum signatures, massive energy readings. Space itself seemed to tear open as humanity's guardian fleet emerged from quantum transit. Leading the formation was the UNDF Retribution, its dark hull emblazoned with the sword-through-cross emblem. Flanking it were dozens of warships, their weapons already charging. On the Retribution's bridge, Captain Singh's voice was cold. Target their engines first. No one leaves. The first volley caught the pirates completely by surprise. Precision strikes disabled the engines of their assault ships before they could power up. The Crimson Scythe's shield generators overloaded in seconds under the barrage. Impossible, Vexkar whispered. Humans don't have warships. They don't build weapons. This is Captain Maya Singh of the United Nations Defense Fleet. The transmission cut through all frequencies. You attacked our hospital ship. You killed our healers. And now you learn why we chose peace. The Retribution's main gun spoke again. The pirate vessel's shields collapsed completely. Around it, the rest of the Guardian fleet methodically disabled the other raider ships, their targeting so precise that the Mercy wasn't touched by a single shot. "Board them," Singh ordered. "I want prisoners." Marine dropships launched from the human warships. Unlike the minimal security teams on hospital ships, these were trained warriors in powered armor. They'd breached the pirate vessels with surgical precision, their weapons set to stun. Humanity wanted justice, not vengeance. Commander Vexkar found himself face to face with a squad of human Marines. Their armor bore the same red cross as the hospital ship, but now it seemed less a symbol of weakness and more a mark of terrible judgment. "On your knees," the Marine sergeant ordered. "You're being arrested for crimes against humanitarian law." In the Mercy's intensive care unit, human medical teams rushed in, relieving the exhausted survivors. Dr. Patel, who had survived by barricading her patients in a secure ward, watched as the Marines efficiently secured the ship. "I don't understand," she told one of them. "We never knew we had a military fleet." The Marine helped her tend to a wounded patient. "That was the point, Doctor. We wanted to give peace a real chance. We wanted our hospital ships to represent the best of humanity. But we also swore that no one would ever mistake our Mercy for weakness." Admiral Harper arrived on the Mercy personally to oversee the rescue operation. Walking through the ship's corridors, he saw the cost of the attack: dead and wounded medical personnel who had given their lives protecting their patients. "Send word to all ships," he ordered. "Track down every member of this pirate group. I want their entire operation dismantled. And send another message to the galaxy. This is why we chose peace. Not because we couldn't fight, but because we wanted to heal. Cross that line again, and you'll find out just how much force we can bring to bear." The Guardian fleet began systematic sweeps of the sector, hunting down every pirate base and head out. The message spread quickly through the galaxy. Humanity had revealed its hidden strength, and the cost of attacking their hospital ships was higher than anyone could have imagined. Captain Chen, recovering from her injuries in the Retribution's medical bay, watched the fleet through her window. "All this time," she mused, "we thought we were alone out there." Admiral Harper stood beside her bed. "You were never alone, Captain. Every hospital ship we sent out, we watched over. We just hoped we'd never have to prove it." The galaxy was changing. Humanity had shown that their dedication to peace wasn't born of weakness, but of choice. Their hospital ships would continue to roam the stars, bringing healing to all who needed it. But now everyone knew, behind those vessels of mercy stood ships of war, ready to ensure that no one would ever again mistake compassion for vulnerability. The price of peace. The Galactic Council chambers on Centauri Prime had never been so crowded. Representatives from 200 spacefaring civilizations gathered in the vast amphitheater, their voices a low murmur of concern and speculation. The recent revelation of humanity's hidden military might have sent shockwaves through the galaxy's political landscape. Ambassador Zara Chen, Earth's representative, and no relation to the Mercy's captain, stood at the podium. Behind her, holographic displays showed footage of the Guardian fleet's precise operation to rescue the hospital ship. The chamber fell silent as she began to speak. "For 3 centuries, humanity sent doctors into space. We built hospital ships, not warships. We offered healing to any who needed it, asking nothing in return. Some called this naive. Some called it weakness." She paused, her gaze sweeping the chamber. "Today, we reveal the truth. Peace was always our choice, not our necessity." The Raxan ambassador, his crystalline form shimmering with agitation, raised an appendage. "You deceived the galaxy. You hid your military capabilities while pretending to be purely humanitarian." "Did we?" Chen's voice was steady. "Every hospital ship we launched bore our true intention: to heal, to help, to bring peace. We built a military not because we wanted to use it, but to ensure no one would force us to." In deep space, the Guardian fleet continued its systematic dismantling of the Crimson Scythe pirate network. The UNDF Retribution led a battle group through the Carina sector, methodically tracking down every pirate base and safe house. But unlike the pirates' brutal assault on the Mercy, the human forces showed remarkable restraint. Captain Singh stood on her bridge, watching as Marine teams secured another pirate facility. "Casualties?" she asked. "Minimal, Captain," her XO reported. "Mostly injuries from resistance. Our teams are using non-lethal methods wherever possible." "Good. We're not here for revenge. We're here for justice." The captured pirates were transported to a newly revealed human facility in the Proxima system. Unlike traditional prison ships, this one was staffed with both security personnel and medical teams. Even now, humanity's commitment to healing remained evident. Back on Earth, the United Nations Security Council met to discuss the future of human space policy. The chamber was packed with representatives from every human colony and settlement. Admiral Harper addressed the assembly. "The galaxy now knows our strength. The question is, what do we do with this revelation?" The debate that followed was intense but focused. Humanity had never wanted to be warriors, but they had proven they could defend their principles when necessary. The challenge now was maintaining their commitment to peace while acknowledging their military capability. In the Galactic Council, Ambassador Chen unveiled humanity's proposal. "We will continue our medical missions. Our hospital ships will still answer every call for help. But now they will travel with escorts, visible protectors to ensure that no one mistakes our compassion for weakness again." The ripples of this decision spread through galactic society. Species that had dismissed humans as naive healers now reassessed their understanding. Trade agreements were hastily reviewed. Military alliances were reconsidered. On the Mercy, now fully repaired and ready to return to service, Captain Sarah Chen walked through the restored corridors. Medical teams were preparing for their next mission, the ship's purpose unchanged despite everything that had happened. "Will it be different now?" Dr. Patel asked her as they stood in the observation lounge, watching a Guardian fleet vessel take up escort position alongside them. "Now that everyone knows we have warships protecting us." Chen smiled slightly. "We're still healers, Aisha. That hasn't changed. We just don't have to hide the fact that we can defend what we believe in." The Mercy's engines hummed to life, its white hull once again pristine, the Red Cross proudly displayed. But now it carried something new, not just hope for those who needed healing, but a reminder that humanity's choice of peace came from strength, not weakness. In the weeks that followed, pirate attacks on medical vessels across the galaxy dropped to zero. The message was clear. Humanity would continue its mission of healing, but now everyone understood the price of threatening that mission. Ambassador Chen's final words to the Galactic Council became the new motto of Earth's combined fleet. "We choose to heal first. But make no mistake, we also protect what we hold sacred. Our mercy is a choice, and we will defend that choice with all the force we possess." The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Sometimes the strongest warriors are the ones who choose not to fight, until they must. Legacy. 1 year after the Mercy incident, the UNS Hope broke orbit around a distant colony world, its gleaming hull catching the light of an alien sun. The massive hospital ship no longer traveled alone. 2 sleek Guardian vessels flanked it, their presence both reassurance and warning to any who approached. On the Hope's bridge, Captain Sarah Chen, formerly of the Mercy, watched her new command with pride. The ship's corridors buzzed with activity as medical teams prepared for their next mission. But there were other changes too, subtle yet significant. Security teams report all systems normal, Lieutenant Rivera, who had followed her from the Mercy, reported. Guardian escorts maintaining optimal defensive positions. The galaxy had changed in the wake of humanity's revelation. The attack on the Mercy had led to the creation of the Galactic Medical Protection Treaty, now signed by over 300 spacefaring civilizations. Under its terms, any attack on a medical vessel was considered an act of war against all signatories. Dr. Aisha Patel, who had survived the Mercy attack, now served as the Hope's chief medical officer. She stood in the new diplomatic wing, addressing a group of alien medical students, the first class in a new exchange program. Humanity's commitment to healing remains unchanged, she explained to her diverse audience. But now we understand that protecting healers is just as important as healing itself. The Hope's medical bay had been redesigned with both healing and security in mind. Automated defense systems were hidden behind the pristine walls, ready to protect patients and staff if needed. But they remained invisible, never detracting from the ship's primary mission of mercy. In deep space, the former pirate base that had coordinated the attack on the Mercy had been transformed. Now it housed the Galactic Medical Response Center, a joint facility where species from across the galaxy trained together in both emergency medicine and medical security. Admiral Harper stood in the facility's observation dome, watching ships arrive from dozens of worlds. Beside him, Ambassador Chen prepared for another diplomatic meeting. "They're calling it the Mercy Revolution," she told him. "The day the healers showed their teeth." Harper shook his head. "No, the day we prove that protecting healers is just as noble as healing itself." The changes rippled through galactic society. Other species began following humanity's example, creating their own versions of the Guardian Fleet, ships dedicated not to warfare, but to protecting those who helped others. The sight of medical vessels with military escorts became common, a reminder that compassion and strength could coexist. On Earth, the United Nations expanded its space program. New hospital ships were launched, each larger and more advanced than the last. But now they carried something more than medical supplies. They carried the promise that humanity would defend its humanitarian mission with all its might. The Crimson Scythe pirates, those who survived, faced justice in an international tribunal. But true to their principles, humanity ensured they received proper medical care and rehabilitation. Many later admitted that this treatment taught them more about human strength than any military response could have. Captain Chen stood in the Hope's Memorial Garden, a new addition to all human hospital ships. The names of those lost on the Mercy were inscribed in luminescent crystal, their sacrifice honored but not forgotten. Below them was carved humanity's new creed: to heal when we can, to protect when we must. Captain Rivera's voice came through the comm. "We're receiving a distress call from a mining colony in the Orion sector. Multiple casualties reported from a seismic event." Chen took one last look at the memorial plotted course. "Maximum safe speed." She paused. "Inform our escorts." The Hope's engines powered up, its massive form turning gracefully toward its next mission. The Guardian ships moved with it, their presence a quiet reminder of humanity's dual nature, healers who had learned to protect their ability to heal. As the ships jumped to FTL, Chen reflected on how far they'd come. The attack on the Mercy had forced humanity to reveal its strength, but it hadn't changed their fundamental nature. They were still healers first. They had just learned that sometimes protecting the healers was itself an act of healing. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Humanity's dedication to peace and healing wasn't a sign of weakness, but a choice made from a position of strength. Their hospital ships still roamed the stars, bringing hope and healing to all who needed it. But now everyone understood that behind those vessels of mercy stood the Guardians, ready to ensure that compassion would never again be mistaken for vulnerability. The legacy of the Mercy would live on, not just in humanity's revealed strength, but in a galaxy that had learned to better protect its healers. In the end, that was perhaps the greatest healing of all.